Africa, Africa, Africa. One of the major religions that exist in West Africa till this present day is Islam. Before the coming of Islam in West Africa, African traditional religion was the major religion in the region. But with the introduction of Islam, there were adjustments based on the introduction of new religion. If you are watching us for the very first time, please subscribe to our channel and click on the notification icon so that anytime we drop a new content, you will be one of the earliest persons to be notified. Islam was introduced to West Africa from North Africa. The earliest introduction and spread of Islam in West Africa was carried out in two ways, or they were carried out in two ways. The first one of them was the activities and spread from Berber merchants who settled in big towns, trading centers, and trading posts. These Berber merchants were instrumental to the introduction of Islam in most parts of West Africa. Another factor or another way was the movement of some nomadic groups. Some of these nomadic groups came all the way from the North African region down into the West African region. Some of them coming were Muslims, and their activities and interaction with the locals or the people within the West African region played a very important role towards the introduction of Islam. Well, the earliest dynasty or Islamic dynasty in West Africa were formed in Tekroy Empire, which was in the Senegal region. Islam was introduced in Tekroy from Odagost, which was a Berber town. Odagost was a state that was established or founded by the Berbers. The Berbers are one of the groups in the Sahara region, the northern Sahara region. Well, Islamic merchants from Berbers or from Odagost were instrumental towards the introduction and spread of Islam in Tekroy. Some of these Islamic merchants or Islamic followers were Tassina, who was a Berber leader, Yahya, Abdullahi ibn Yassin. Abdullahi ibn Yassin was very instrumental in the formation of the Almoravid movement. The Almoravid movement played a very important role towards the sustenance of Islam in Ghana. Now let's go to the introduction of Islam in Ghana Empire. Muslim traders from Odagost were responsible for the introduction of Islam in Ghana Empire. When these Muslim traders introduced Islam in Ghana, they commuted from Odagost to Ghana Empire. Well, after a while, after some time, Ghana Empire took over the control of Odagost from the Sahanja Berbers. Ghana Empire took over the control of Odagost from the Sahanja Berbers. The control of Odagost by Ghana Empire helped in promoting the spread of Islam in Ghana Empire, in that before the conquest and control of Odagost. Odagost was a strong Islamic territory that was founded by the Sahanja Berbers. In Mali Empire, Islam was introduced in around the 11th century, according to the documentation of an Arab geographer called Al-Bakri. The rulers of Mali Empire were converted to Islam around the 11th century. But Islam was not really highly influential until the 13th century. The 13th century, Islam was already strong and influenced in Mali Empire. And this was around or during the reign of Mansa Musa. The reign of Mansa Musa saw the strong approach towards Islamization of Mali Empire. Many people were Islamized in Mali Empire under the reign of Mansa Musa. In the Songhai Empire, as early as the 9th century, some rulers in Songhai Empire were already bearing Islamic names. But that was not to say that Islam was strong. No, the practice of Islam was very poor. But some leaders in Songhai Empire were already bearing Islamic names. Although Sani Ali, who conquered Timbuktu, had the intention of spreading Islam in Songhai Empire, but in practice, he was not serious with the religion. This made him to have issues with some Islamic leaders in the empire. The influence of Islam or the spread of Islam was climaxed or was strongly enshrined during the reign of the Askia or Askia Muhammad the Great. During the reign of Askia Muhammad the Great, Islam was made to be very influential. In the Kanem Borno Empire, Islam was introduced around the 11th century. But it was during the reign of my Ume Jimmy that Islam's spread made some impacts. Ume Jimmy was believed to be the first Mai to convert to Islam. With his conversion, he started transforming the Kanem Borno Empire based on Islamic principles. But serious Islamization of the empire was carried out during the reign of my Idris Aloma. My Idris Aloma was the greatest king to have ruled the Kanem Borno Empire. He propagated Islamic faith and carried out lots of reforms in the empire based on Islamic religious principles. In the Hausa land, the introduction of Islam in the Hausa land was traceable to the Wangarawa merchants around the 14th century. The Wangarawa merchants were said to be responsible towards the introduction of Islam in Hausa land. In the Kano area, Islam was introduced during the reign of Ali Raji. Another important town or important kingdom under Hausa land or in the Hausa land that made very impact in the introduction of Islam and the spread of Islam was Katsina. Katsina had Islam in the middle of the 14th century. Katsina went ahead to become very famous and a very influential center of Islamic culture and learning around the 17th century in Hausa land. While the strengthening and the high level of spread of Islam was carried out based on the jihad of Usman Dan Fodio. The jihad of Usman Dan Fodio was responsible towards the strengthening of Islam in Hausa land, in the sense that one of the results of the jihad was the formation of an Islamic caliphate or Islamic political unit called the Sokoto Caliphate. The Sokoto Caliphate was built based on Islamic principles after the jihad led by Uthman dan Fodio. Well, this particular jihad was actually pushed and propagated by the Fulani who settled among the Hausas, and also some peasants who saw the Hausa leaders as leaders that were suppressing the poor. Well, in general, Islam can be said to have been introduced in West Africa through the North African route. That is why, one of the reasons why, if you look at some of the countries in West Africa, you observe that most of them, mainly countries like Nigeria, I think some other ones within that region, the northern part of the country have predominantly Muslims, while the southern part have predominantly Christian. This was because, as Islam was being introduced from the north, after some time, the Christian missionaries from Europe introduced Christianity from the southern part. At the time, in some of these countries, these two religions came to neutralize themselves or met at some point. This is the basic reason for the influence of Islam in the northern part of a country like Nigeria, while the influence of Christianity in the southern part of Nigeria. Please, if you're watching us for the very first time, please subscribe to our channel, like and share our content so that it will reach others. Also, click on the notification icon so that anytime we drop a new content, you'll be one of the earliest persons to be notified. Thanks for being part of this channel.